Minecards is a simple but surprisingly addictive game of solitaire dungeon crawling. You're aiming to make it through a deck of cards that's comprised of monsters, potions, spells, and more. It's not the most difficult game to get started with, but there are a few hints and tricks we've picked up during the hours we've put in that should put you in good stead to finish the challenges the game throws at you. Of course, this isn't a definitive list, and if you've got your own suggestions, feel free to chuck them in the comments section below. In the meantime, let's make with the tips. Number 1. Stay healthy. The best way to survive the dungeons in Minecards is to stay healthy. This might sound silly and obvious, but it's easy to get swept up in grabbing loot and taking down monsters, only to realise too late that you don't have a chance of clearing the next set of cards. It's not just about keeping an eye on your health either, you also need to be watching your food and gem levels as well. And if you've got no food, every card you play will cost 1 health. If you've got no gems, every time you draw cards from the deck, unless you've played the tax-free card, will cost you 3 health as well. Don't get tunnel vision, and look after yourself. Number 2. What's the challenge? Depending on the challenge the game has set you, you might need to change the way that you play, especially when it comes to the ones that ask you to finish with a set score. Your score is based on the monsters you kill, the gems you collect, plus a small bonus for finishing a level. You can try and get through the game spending health on drawing cards, but it is kinda difficult. Other challenges are easier to overcome. The most difficult are probably those that require you to win a set number of games in a row, since they're so heavily based on luck. All you can do in those is just deal with the cards that you've been dealt. Speaking of which, number 3, the cards you've been given. Learn what all of your cards do. You can find the info out by just long pressing your finger on a card. This is really important when you start to add new cards to your deck, since some of them are only really useful in specific situations. The Death Ring, for example, gives you 1 gem for every monster that's in play. This is great when the board is rammed, but tap it when there's nothing trying to kill you, and you're wasting, quite literally, a golden opportunity. Number 4. Deal with the biggest threat. If you've got an option when it comes to which monster you're going to take down, it's a good idea to always attack the biggest threat that you can deal with. You don't have to finish every deal with full health. In fact, it's basically impossible. Instead, put yourself in the strongest position to deal with what's coming next by making sure you're not going to have to manage anything too dastardly in the current set of cards. And number 5, try not to stack. You want to get the most out of every food and health card, so try and make sure you're not wasting any morsels by playing them too early. Don't use a 7-point potion when you've only lost 1 hit point, for example. There's no time limit, so it's a good idea to consider your moves carefully. Check regularly to see how many cards there are left in the deck, and always keep an eye on all of your stats. It's fairly self-explanatory, but healing cards can be the difference between life and death. So, playing smart and not wasting valuable healing points is the best way to make sure you're still alive at the end of the game.